Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Hello and happy Tuesday. Look, the gang's all back. We all got the memo. We've got our hats on. Lou, we didn't get to talk to you yesterday. What'd you think about the Super Bowl?
I thought it was a little surprising. So I had a shot one too many after it turned into a blowout, but I enjoyed the game.
A shot, one too many. Wow.
Just one too many.
One too many. One past the point. We got a lot of basketball to talk today. Good morning, Chandler. I didn't mean to ignore you. Napheesa Collier is joining the show here in a little while. But guys, it's happened. We've lived through it. Remember where you were the day Luka Doncic debuted as a Los Angeles freaking Laker. That's right. They defeat the Jazz in his big debut, 132-113. He had 14. He was 5 of 14, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in the 24 minutes he played. Yes, he's on a bit of a restriction. He hadn't played since Christmas. LeBron with 24, 7, and 8. So, Lou, let's start with you. It's going to take, we thought Klay Thompson in a different uniform was going to take a minute. This is going to take a minute, but your first impressions.
I thought it was okay. I thought they played well together, considering the competition, considering this was a Utah Jazz team that's going to have their ups and downs. They didn't give them a lot of resistance on defense, so it looked like a lot of the things that the Lakers were doing were just drill work. They were easy to get to their sets. So it was hard for me to really judge how this team is going to move forward. Everything was just so easy for them. But just like I thought, LeBron was going to initiate a lot of the offense. Luka was going to play the 2, and then they were going to play some isolation basketball in the half court. As this team goes together, as more that they build their camaraderie, build their competitiveness together, I think this LA Lakers team, they get better and better. My only concern is still, I just don't think that roster is deep enough. Considering how other teams are built right now, the way that some of these teams are trending up, you're top heavy. You got LeBron James, who's 40 years old, that looks like your best player right now. As rejuvenated and energized that he's playing, he's your best player right now. You got Luka on minute restrictions, and then from there it's Austin Reeves, and just still trying to find who's going to be the guys that are going to contribute on a major scale after that. I still think they got some things to patch up that they should do in the field. After this trade deadline, that's going to make them better. Who's left out there on waivers and in free agency right now? That's going to make this team better. But first things first, I thought that they were okay considering who they played last night.
Chandler, what'd you think? That gold, it's different.
It's going to take some time to get used to, right? It's crazy. It's here. He's officially a Laker. And listen, I think he hasn't played since Christmas, right? So even if he played last night on Dallas, that's a long time to be off. It's a long time to kind of shake the cobwebs, the rust off. You got to figure his jumper wasn't going to fall, and he struggled from three-point line last night. But I thought he looked pretty good. I think he did a great job early, just kind of being a little passive, but also getting guys involved. His first play of the game, he basically had a little bunny layup in the lane and gave it to Hayes for an easy lob at the rim. And LeBron made it clear in warmups. He said, Luka, do not fit in, like be you. And I think just hearing that right before the game started, obviously it's got to be a boast of confidence. And defensively, I think they're going to have some issues. I think when they go to the small lineup, especially, they switched everything last night. And that's going to put Luka in situations where he's going to have to sit down and defend. And even last night, sometimes Jordan Clarkson, Collier, they would get downhill on him and get past him and kind of put them in a scramble situation. So I think offensively, look, they scored 72 points in the first half. And again, this is a small sample size against the Jazz. Offense is not going to be the problem with this team. This team's going to have to find rotations when they're small, when they're big. Are they going to switch everything all game long? Are we going to see some zone from this team to kind of protect Luka? It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. But I thought overall it was exciting. It was great. Shots didn't fall from him necessarily, but I thought he did a great job getting other guys involved, and he's going to be really, really good here, no doubt.
We're obviously going to start reading into everything, especially with everything going on in Dallas and everyone being angry. But Dirk was in attendance for this thing last night, Luka's first game. I think he's had a tweet out too, just to tell everybody to relax. Still always a Mav for life. But, could there be more? I can't imagine the players, Chandler, love the way this entire thing played out.
No, there's nothing more here. Dirk is not a subliminal type guy. doing stuff with Amazon, which is in LA. So he probably had other stuff going on in Los Angeles. And look, this has been Dirk was his big brother from the moment he came in. He was kind of that mentor figure. He's been there with him for 6 years, even post retirement. Dirk has always been affiliated in that organization. He's always going to be, whether that's Mark Cuban or Patrick Dumont running the team, whether that's Nico or not. Dirk is the face of that franchise forever and ever. And there's a statue out there to prove that. So I think this is just Dirk showing him love, maybe showing him some comfort, sitting with his father, not courtside, which is also the most Dirk thing of all time. I thought it was great. I thought this is just, like me and Lou always talking about, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with even like the Jimmy stuff, the Brad Beal stuff. There's relationships that you make in the locker room that are bigger than what's happening with the team and with the front office. So I thought it was great that he was there to support him. And again, this doesn't mean he doesn't care about the Mavs or he's a Laker fan now. He's just simply supporting. So there's definitely nothing like subliminal here. That is not the type of guy Dirk is.
I love the idea. Dirk's a Laker fan now, guys. That's it, Lou. We just watched it happen. No, I think it's cool because Luka even said he was like a little nervous and he doesn't remember the last time he was nervous before a game. Kind of nice to see a friendly face out there, right?
Yeah, that's a fact. And remember, this came as a surprise to everybody. Nobody was really prepared or expecting this to be the circumstances for Luka last week. And now that you're here and you're in a different uniform, you're in a different market, a different fan base that's used to rooting against you, and you have somebody that's familiar there. You have your family there, and somebody who was somebody who's been a very positive influence on you. To have those people there to kind of give you that comfort, give you that blanket to land on when you kind of needed some comfort in your debut. I thought that was great to have Dirk there. But like I said, like Chandler just said, nothing subliminal there. We all know that Dirk is a man for life. This was in support of Luka and Luka only, not for the Los Angeles Lakers, for sure.
Yeah, let's not get crazy, people. There was a funny moment, by the way. Luka walks into his post-game presser. He's obviously been in big game moments. He's done global games. He's done finals. But he said, "Oh, beep, that's a lot of people." Chandler, look, it's also his first game. I would imagine it won't be crazy every single night. But he is in a brand new, perhaps the largest market when it comes to press coverage. So do you think it's going to take some adjusting? Is he ready for it?
Yeah, he's ready for it. This kid is, like you said, he's been playing in the Olympics and for his home team, his national team, and he's been playing on big stages. The guy played in the finals last year, so he's used to, all eyes on him. So again, LA is different. I think personally wise, it's going to take a little adjusting. The dude can't go and get a coffee without getting paparazzi'd and TMZ'd, and that stuff didn't happen in Dallas. So I think off the court, it's going to be some adjustment with his family and his friends. He can't just pull up to Craig's or Catch or Nobu or any of these restaurants without cameras in his face, asking him, whether it's a good game or bad game or whatever's going on. He's definitely going to be now the face of the Lakers. He's going to be the face of Los Angeles in certain ways. So that part is definitely going to have some adjusting to do because he's just a kid from Europe that's in Dallas playing basketball and now in one of the biggest markets in the world media-wise. So definitely interesting, but he's going to have fun with it. He's going to embrace it. He's always handled the media and everybody with class, and he's always done a really good job with that. So I have no real concerns there. But also, what a setup for him. His first game is against the Jazz. His next game is against the Jazz. Then he gets a week off for All-Star Weekend. Then he comes back and plays the Hornets. So it's a perfect setup, perfect timing for him to kind of get his legs under him and kind of get his rhythm as a Laker.
It's like somebody knew this was going to happen. It's very interesting, Lou. I believe I'm going to start going conspiracy here. And you know why? Because I know marketing teams are constantly like, there's thinking, there's rooms, there's people doing stuff. But the Gatorade quickness with which they threw up this sign, this Hollywood electronic sign video, whatever, has the 2 L's replaced in the Luka jersey with the 77. Like, dude, Lou, that was quick and awesome.
That was fire, and all they had to do was turn the L's upside down and light them yellow, and now we have a $1 million marketing budget that probably cost us only a few bucks with AI and how these things work these days. But this is great to see. This is being embraced by the city. This is welcoming him with open arms, and we're excited to have you here. And You know, what better place than the Showtime Lakers? This is a town that loves their superstars. You have one here that's going to be here for a number of years. So this was great to see for him to feel like he's welcomed and he's at home here.
I cannot believe we're about to do this, Chandler. And by the way, what was the one you sent us? Was it Nike? Was it Jumpman, right?
The Jumpman, the Jordan brand. Good luck, y'all. Almost like clowning tech the way they talk. It's just business until it is like that. That really got me going. So listen, of course, he is a mega star. He is a A-list celebrity. If he wasn't then, now he is definitely going to be living in LA. Oof. So I love all his endorsements, all his, he's a brand ambassador for a lot of these big time companies. I love this. This was a huge deal. This was national, worldwide news. Let's support him. Let's run with it. Let's make this even bigger. And so I love the Hollywood sign. I love the Jordan campaign. I think it's just part of making him move. And like Lou said, it's just making him comfortable, making him feel loved, making him feel wanted here as soon as he got here.
It feels like a movie, honestly. Like we talk so much about small market versus big market. Does it really matter? Is there a big difference? And then in the course of 48 hours, you just really see sort of the machine that is the Los Angeles Lakers. Like he's, as much as I hate to admit, man, he's on a different level now, and it's going to be that way for a while. We are getting reports, however, Dave McMenamin with the report that it was not lost on LeBron's camp that the Lakers prioritized Luka's involvement in trade talks, where LeBron had wanted the Lakers for years to trade for picks or players, just anything really to improve the roster. This was quick. Chandler, what'd you make of these reports? Here we go.
I don't look into this much. LeBron James is great as he is, as great as he has been. He's 40 years old, and he's not the future of the Lakers. So I don't understand this frustration. I don't know if these reports are even real, but again, this goes back to if you can do anything to get your hands on a Luka Doncic, anything to get your hands on a Wemby, a Jokic, a SGA, any of these type of players, you do it. These guys are going to be around for the next 7 to 12 years at an unbelievable pace and production level. You have to do this as an organization. You have to do this as a front office. So it's hard for me to imagine that LeBron is frustrated by this, because the addition of Luka also made their team a lot better. It made them a lot more relevant. We are talking about the Lakers more than ever. So I think LeBron understands, listen, he can be 1A some nights, he can be 1B certain nights. At this point of his career, this should not bother him. If it does, it's a little strange, because this could prolong his career. This could make them into a contender this year by adding Luka. So if anything, I think the opposite. I would be so stoked that my front office in my last year or two is doing everything they can to maximize my career.
Listen, and I'm calling cap on this report. Did y'all see LeBron James last night? He was ecstatic. Like
pretty excited.
Listen, down to the point he puts on the stock T-shirt that they were giving out of the Lakers 77s. He warmed up in this T-shirt. Starting lineups. Usually his name is called last. He jumped up, the second to last guy. Luka Doncic went last. This is a full-on embrace. I'm excited for this guy to be here. So I'm calling cap on this report that he's upset in any way. Like, he looks like a kid in a candy store. We just talked about him being re-energized and playing at a different level now that Luka is a part of this team. Like, and we watched him last night. He was the best player on the floor by far on both teams. No matter who put a uniform on, LeBron James played with the most energy. He was talkative. He was the leader. He did all of these things that you would want to see your 40-year-old superstar do. So for everything that's going Luka's way, that is your future. Why wouldn't you want to embrace that? Why wouldn't you want to show him the ropes? Look, this is how this goes around here. When I step away, these are your keys to the car. You got it. So everything that I saw, I didn't see not one negative thing coming from the Los Angeles Lakers, especially LeBron James. So to have this report come out, I don't know. I got my views about it, but I'm calling cap.
And Lou, even since this trade happened, and LeBron always plays hard. He's all year long. He's been diving on the floor, taking charges. Since this trade's happened, the dude has been playing with a different burst, a different type of energy. He's flying around on defense. He's diving on the floor. He's so energetic on the bench, supporting every. So like he could have took this trade as a negative and like not pouting. I don't think he's going to do this, LeBron James, but he could have went the other way. he's even more energized now, even more confident, playing even harder than I think I've ever seen him play right now. So he was even a little passive early. He waited. It was kind of a, you go, I go early on in the game last night. He was a little sloppy with the ball at times too, trying to get Luka the ball, trying to throw it ahead. I think he had 7 turnovers or something last night, but this dude doesn't look like a guy that's frustrated. He doesn't look like a guy that's upset with the front office. He looks like a guy that's stoked that has a 25-year-old stud to play with however longer he can go. So I think it's the exact opposite. I think he's so happy and a whole nother breath of fresh air and just a whole nother void of confidence just to have Luka there with him.
In fairness to LeBron as well in this report, and it's serious if I'm saying that. We all noticed it. Like, wasn't the joke, oh my God, AD gets traded and then they go and get a center? Granted, that's been rescinded, and I know they're fighting that on the Charlotte end now, but we all sort of were like, that's interesting. So noted. We all noticed it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. They got to think of the future. So on the other side of this, we do have the Mavericks. Let's get to that. Sacramento in Dallas last night. This one's fun. Okay, Kyrie with 15 seconds left. Then DeMar, 3 seconds left. Mavs try to get the final shot off. No, so we go to overtime. This thing is a lot of DeMar, you guys, and I'm excited to talk about. There's Clay with a 3. That's 10 seconds left in OT. No worries, mate. DeMar with the win. He finished with a season-high 42, 7 rebounds, including, of course, that game winner that you just saw. Kyrie with 39 and 7. Lou, let's start with DeMar's game winner, because there's a double team and then there's just isn't.
Mid-range.
I gotta
Exactly.
call my guy promptly after I get off this show with y'all, because that shot looks mighty familiar. It looks like a shot that I made a lot of money with, man. I gotta have a conversation with my buddy right here. But this is who DeMar DeRozan is, just patient, knowing that he has a matchup that's gonna go his way. A lot of guys that you put in front of him is gonna go his way, but he's a mid-range guy. He's a mid-range killer from the left side of the floor to the right side of the floor, 18 feet in. He's going to be one of the most dangerous guys with a basketball in his hand. So to have him there one-on-one on an island for the game and him to find one of his many spots, 18 feet in, that's a game winner. Even from the step through when they had him trapped, that's just patience. That's just footwork. That's just who he is. That's what he's going to do for the Sacramento Kings. So no surprise there to me, but I am going to give him a hard time because that fadeaway on the left side, that looks mighty familiar. So we got to have a conversation to see if he's been watching some Lou Will film there.
God, I love the visual of that. Him just studying Lou Will film. I want that to be the case. I mean, look, it was beautiful, Chandler. Like, you hate to see it for Dallas, and we'll get to sort of the bad luck that continues for them, but man, just to not be able to win this one, and then we also get to the Gafford of it all. What'd you make of DeRozan before we move on?
Oh, just you still got it. Just 3 words, still got it. It's funny because the league has gone so 3-point heavy, and DeMar DeRozan still just bears down, plays his game. I just remember when I played against DeMar, you have to stay down every single time he has the ball because he's so good at shot faking and using angles and getting to where he wants to get to, and he still does it. And again, the game has changed, but he has stayed the same. So I love the fact that he can still go get you 42. And by the way, he was 4 of 6 from 3 last night, so it's not like he's not capable of taking threes. So I love the fact that he's thriving. He looks like he's having fun. He's always hit big shots. He's always come in the crunch time and hit a lot of game-winning, game-tying shots. So I love it for DeMar. I couldn't be happier for him. On the other side,
Yeah,
just a disaster. I'll let you get into it, but it couldn't be worse for them right now.
it is. Start to reevaluate your whole life and think, was I an awful person in a previous life? Because the sports gods right now are not having it in Dallas. So yes, they blow a double-digit lead. That's the game side of things. But Daniel Gafford had to be helped off the court in this one with a right knee sprain. So let's just add him now to AD, Derek Lively, and Dwight Powell, who are all out. Chandler, you got to feel for him. Whether you're a Mavs fan or not, this is a lot. It's a lot to handle.
PJ Washington also out. Caleb Martin, another guy they just tried for, he's out. So again, it's a weird time for the Mavs, right? Because this trade happened out of nowhere. You trade your mega superstar at 25 years old, which never happens, in full secrecy. You trade him for a guy who, by the way, who's been dominant all season long and it continues to be great when he's healthy, but he's had a lot of health issues. So it's tough. Your whole fan base has basically turned on you. They're protesting outside the arena. There's beefing up security for the GM because he's getting death threats. Like it's all just from one single, just secret trade. Everything's kind of spiraled. We're just talking about a team that was in the finals last year. Talking about a team that's on the rise. They add Klay Thompson. They get PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, which make them so much better last year. And then it's just like now it's this whole different situation, this whole new team. And it's just the timing of it just did not make sense to me. And now again, you see all this, they're hit with the injury bug, and it's tough. It's going to be tough for them to overcome this. Everything I hear too, Anthony Davis, his injury is a lot more serious than it's led to. They knew about this injury too before, and it kind of rushed him back to play, and now it's re-aggravated. So it's just not good. I hope they can get healthy, and I hope they can find a way, because when they are loaded, they are a great team and they're going to win a lot of games. But man, it just seems like when it rains, it pours for these guys right now. And it's an interesting move for the owner to make so early in buying the team.
What's Lou thinking about?
The security did what?
Yeah,
Nico's been getting like death threats and racial stuff thrown his way, to where like they literally hired security for him, and
like at his house and stuff.
Yeah,
like
at his house, not just at the arena. He switched his seat at the games. Like it's like, I'm just saying that just, it seems like a lot, but that just shows you how upset this fan base is just from one move.
Everybody got to relax. You know what I think reignited them being a little upset is Anthony Davis getting hurt, because when he played that first game, everybody kind of calmed down like, you know what? We may be okay. We may be okay. This is a great start. Then boom, he gets injured. Now you lose the game in overtime. Emotions are running high again. And now I'm hearing that he needs security and he's facing death threats on a trade from a basketball, from a NBA game, from doing your job. Come on, Dallas. We got to relax.
Well, wait, Lou. There's more.
Did you see what happened last night?
There we go. Let's get into that, because fans had signs. They were chanting "Fire Nico." There were signs "Fire Nico." Security was going after some. People got ejected. Jason Kidd. I'm going to just give you everything, and then we're going to react. Jason Kidd didn't speak after the game. As we know, coaches normally speak after games. Mark Cuban was getting into it with fans who were chanting during Dallas Mavericks free throws. He told them to shut the F up and sit the F down.
Well, he can do that now because he's one of the biggest fans that the Dallas Mavericks have. So,
but like, I do think I have mixed emotions on if you just hold up a sign that says "Fire Nico." Do you get ejected for that? Like,
no,
that's part of the fan.
That is part of the fan experience. There's no profanity. There's no disrespect there. That is being a fan. That is being a fanatic. That is that's what makes this game great. I don't have to agree with you if you do things that disrupts my fandom. I don't have to agree with you, even if you're my home team, and I can be displeased with decisions that you make, and I can protest that peacefully at games. So for the idea of them stopping this or kicking people out is going to be a PR nightmare that they can't even imagine. I don't see where this even makes sense. Yeah, Chandler.
They put fans on the Jumbotron last night to sing a song, and dudes and mouth "Fire Nico," and they kicked him out of the game. They kicked him out of the game.
Not in my America. Not in my America. Peaceful protests. Come on.
This is a bad look, Dallas. It's a spiral right now from top to bottom. You know, even I just heard the news. This is my first time hearing that Jason Kidd didn't speak with media last night. Like, that's unheard of for your head coach to not give his thoughts and his comments about the game that they just played and competed in. You know, outside of Nico and outside of Luka and Anthony Davis, you owe your fan base and everybody some type of statements about the game that was played, especially an overtime thriller that you lost by one point. Game. Yeah, we want some understanding about those things, and so this is a bad look, top to bottom. This is crazy.
Here's the problem. The more of the story is, the more they win, I think the more fans will get on board, and they won't they will stop doing this type of stuff. The problem is with all these injuries stacking up and all these guys missing time, and Anthony Davis being out at least a month, it's going to be tough for them to tread water and to win games. And at the same time, these fans are going to be watching the Lakers very closely, and they're going to see them running away with it, playing the Jazz, playing the Charlotte Hornets, winning these games. And they're going to think, wow, we should still have this guy. So again, it's not necessarily about them. It's more about Luka. It's more about just the secrecy of the trade and the deal. So it's going to take some time. I mean, they literally booed Patrick Dumont, the owner, the governor of the Mavericks, as he walked off the court last night. Like, this isn't going to just happen. This isn't going to get better overnight until they start winning games. And the expectations now are so high, and the pressure for this team to win now after going to the finals last year is extraordinary. And I don't think they're going to win and reach those expectations now of the fan base. So I don't see it getting better anytime soon.
They double down on this Luka narrative that he doesn't take care of himself and he's not the guy the future. And this is bad. They're gonna have to win a ton of games for this fan base to
they're gonna have to win a title. They're gonna have to win a title.
Yeah,
title.
I was trying to be nice about it, but yes, like that is the only way that you kind of wiggle your way out of this. You got to win a title.
You need crisis management right now. This is like y'all said. This is a PR disaster.
They need to win a championship, or this fans will never forgive until they. I think the only way this fan base will like the Mavs again is if the owner fires Nico Harrison. I swear, I think it's going down that route. Like, I think they are.
Which, by the way, one day we need to get into that, because do we think this dude just like woke up and did all this without the approval of others, but yet he is the face of the decision. So it's like he's obviously going to get the front of it.
It kind of feels like it. So we need more information.
We need a lot of information. But in the meantime, disaster. And by the way, for 3 quarters on Saturday, it felt like, oh, you know what? This might be okay. All right.
Yeah.
And just sports are mean. Sports are rude. We're going to take a quick break. She's back. We get to talk to her next. Napheesa Collier's back on the show. There she is. Run It Back returns.
Run it up, run it back.
I'm too nice. I'm too fast. I'm in control. Foot on the gas.
Napheesa Collier.
Potential WNBA MVP. Still gonna be better than you.
She's back, 4-time All-Star, 2-time gold medalist, Defensive Player of the Year. Napheesa Collier is here. And okay, so the Unrivaled, we got to get right into it. Last time you were on, we were talking about it's happening. Now we are in it. The one-on-one tournament tipped off last night. You beat Katie Lou Samuelson 12-6. I got to know, first round matchup. When we're looking at players who are going to excel in this format, what do you have to have? What's ideal?
It's crazy because I feel like, as shown by the games last night, like anyone can win these games. And so you have to bring everything you have in your bag, and you got to make shots. 11 comes really, really quick. And it's easy to get shut out in this game. So I'm going to try to use all the tools I got in my bag, my physicality, my little fader, over my right shoulder usually, and try to make some baskets.
That's a fact. It was a lot not a lot. It was a few upsets last night that I was even surprised. Mm-hmm. I was like, dang, I didn't see that coming, but I love the concept. Love the concept.
Well, you look ahead because you got Rakia Jackson next. She beats Jackie Young 11-3. So do you change anything, or you just, like you just said, you just go out there and you got your strength, stick to that?
No, I'm going to play my game. I think I'm one of the best in the world, and so people might know my moves, but you have to be able to stop them. So that's the mindset I have for tonight.
I'm wondering, Lou, if was this one of the upsets, Lou, the Breanna Stewart being defeated? Was that one that you thought?
I didn't see Stewie getting shut out. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see De'Erica losing last night. I didn't see that one. I thought she was going to win that matchup. But what I do like about the league is, no matter your size, your position, these are the matchups, so you never know what's going to happen until you check ball, and you got to go out there and compete. And like Napheesa just said, that 11 comes quick, especially with that 7-second shot clock right there. You got to make decisions fast, and you got to go. So this was exciting to see last night. I watched it with my daughter. It was great.
Awesome.
Like Napheesa, Stewie's a co-founder with you. Do you talk to her after this one, or you leave her alone?
I think I'll probably leave her alone for a couple of days. It's tough for sure. But again, like, we built this league to have the best players in the world. And so there's no shame in losing to anybody here. Everyone is really good. And Aaliyah had the hot hand. She played really, really well last night. So it was a good game.
Love it.
Napheesa, I got a couple of questions for you. One, I want to know who's in charge of the decision making of the league, because a lot of the concepts that you guys have been working on have been innovative, but you always hear guys talk about, oh, they should do a one-on-one tournament at All-Star Weekend, or 3-on-3, how you guys are playing 75% of the floor. Who's in charge of putting these new concepts into position? Who's in charge of that?
Honestly, it's a really collaborative thing. I mean, we all have ownership in this league, so we all hold a lot of weight in what we say, which is really nice to have. But as far as like the one-on-one tournament and like the format of the league in general, that was, my husband Alex and some of our co-founders, and I was involved in that. And one-on-one was a big thing because obviously we're competing for that bag. Like, that money is really
Absolutely
nice to have. I'm going to play everything I have to get that money. But it's also for the culture. We're trying to change what it is in women's basketball. You can go to the parks and you're seeing guys playing pickup. You're seeing them play one-on-one. You don't see that with girls a lot. And we want to kind of change that to be where we have that culture as well.
Absolutely. I listen. I watch with my oldest, and we love the league. We love the concepts you guys are putting into place and everything. But you said it. You're trying to get to that bag. It's $200K on the line. It's a lot of cheese on the line. Who do you feel like is going to be your biggest obstacle that's left in this tournament?
It's hard because, you can't let anybody get hot, but one person in my pod is my teammate, Courtney. She's been talking trash for weeks already. We played a little bit of one-on-one in practice the other day, and it was tough. So she's going to be a hard one for sure.
That's what's up.
Napheesa, we always talk about how NBA All-Star Weekend has gotten a little stagnant, right? Like, it didn't have the zip that it used to have. And we think that a one-on-one tournament like you guys are doing would be awesome. So if you had to pick one NBA player that would win, assuming that everybody did it, one NBA player that would win the one-on-one challenge All-Star Weekend, who do you got? And do you think that would be great for the league?
Well, first of all, I do think it would be great for the league. I feel like it's gotten a little stagnant because people don't take it as seriously, but you have to take one-on-one seriously. Like, your reputation is on the line. So I think that'll bring the competitiveness back. And I mean, I feel like Wemby's got to win. He's just so long. How are you going to shoot over him? And then how are you going to defend him? Like, Wemby in a one-on-one situation is going to be impossible to guard.
It's a great pick.
Hilarious to watch.
Wemby playing Anthony Edwards one-on-one with, like, it would be awesome.
It's just going to be like up here and down here. By the way, Napheesa, I'm wondering, because it's visually, I would love this just for my own entertainment, selfishly. But the thing is that we always say is, like, when everyone's trying to fix it, and you guys are over here doing it. You're doing a one-on-one tournament. When I hear people argue for it on the NBA side, it's always like, oh, injuries. Everybody's worried about that. Do you think people are going to start sort of paying attention to the fact that you guys are putting your money where your mouth is? You're actually having a one-on-one tournament. Maybe they can all just relax and look and realize this is great. It's great for you guys. It's great for us as being entertained. Like, do you think that'll matter to them?
Yeah, I think injuries is a cop-out, honestly. Like, you can get injured in practice. You can get injured in any game. And, we're playing for money. And again, we're playing for culture as well. But, like, it's something that, my husband has this conversation every single day with his friends. Who's better, MJ or LeBron? Like, they can have that over and over and over again. And we're put in situations where we can definitively say, no, I'm the best this year. And then, it sparks those other conversations. So I think it's just a really cool opportunity. And injury has nothing to do with it. You can get injured doing anything. Obviously we want everyone to be safe, but that's not really a reason not to do it, I don't think.
That's a fact.
All right. Thank you.
And also, you guys are 8-0 so far. 8-0, and you're averaging damn near 30 points a game. Yeah, you're almost at 30, 29.3 to be exact. And you guys are in a great run. And you're the founder of this league. Like, did you have any idea that you would dominate at this level in a league that you founded?
I mean, I definitely didn't expect for us to be 8-0. I love it for us. But yeah, I mean, for me specifically, like, I knew this would be really fun because I know my game and I work mostly like in the mid post. That's my bread and butter. And so taking 4 people off the court where I can just go on a one-on-one coverage, I knew it was going to be really hard for people to guard that. So I'm having a lot of fun.
It clearly has been such a hit so far. What has been the most surprising thing, about this league so far to you?
I would probably say just how positive the reception has been all around. I mean, I made this analogy the other day, but it's like when you throw a party, you're so much more invested in people having fun and you want everyone to come than if you're just showing up to a party. So the fact that we have people showing up and they're having fun and everyone's really liking the product, that it just like, it makes me really proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
And now,
oh, sorry, Chandler.
Is there one thing that you would possibly for sure, all right, we need to change this for next season?
I don't think there's big things. There's little tweaks. Like, you know, I think we're changing like our seating for next season and like some of the rule changes and just like little tweaks. You make this whole thing, but we're essentially like making it up as we go. And so some things work in practice and some things don't. And so I think there's going to be little tweaks, but I feel like overall we got it pretty right.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to ask you too, because a game the other night between the Laces and Vinyl canceled due to, you know, prioritizing player health and safety. After I got out of the comments, because good Lord, Napheesa, I don't know if you've ever gone to the comments after a simple explanation of the game has been postponed or canceled. People were fighting about, they don't owe us an explanation. It was an amazing thing to go witness. But, you know, you only have 6 players on a roster. Is there a way to tweak that so that something like this doesn't occur again?
Yeah, I think we might go to some more players. It's crazy because we originally had 5 players per team. And then we like exceeded our financial expectations. We were able to add that 6th player. But again, we are making this up as we go, and we can see now in practice that maybe we need a couple more roster spots. So that might be something we look to change in the future.
Understood. And Napheesa, I would like to know, because I tell my friends and my homeboys in our group chat, like, yo, y'all got to check this out because, you know, some of the guys that are critical of the women's game, I'm like, this format is an opportunity for you to see how skilled these ladies really are. Like, it's hoop, it's just they're up and down the floor, it's pick and roll basketball, they're being cerebral. Name me a player that's been a surprise to you that's thrived in this league in this 3-on-3 format.
You know, I think like it's really fun to watch the guards go at it because they have so much space to work. So for me, it's really fun to watch like the Enriques and the Ryans and, you know, like Chelsea Gray, like doing all her point guard stuff at top. Those people are really fun to watch because you get to see their skill more. When there's 5-on-5, it's so clogged, you can't really showcase as much. So those are really fun for me.
Right, I agree.
We got to talk about the Angel Reese. I love it. History was made. First player ejected in an unrivaled game. That is forever. You can't change it. Afterwards, she put out a 2-word message, free me. Her coach said the players are super competitive. Sometimes get a little emotional. But how did you interpret her free me message?
I thought she was talking about because she was like situated behind our walk-in where it looked like jail, like because it was crossed, the nets looked like crosses. So I thought she was talking about it looked like a jail cell. So that's what I thought. I think that's what she was talking about.
It could be. I feel like this interpretation. I just think it's funny that she's now historically the first one to be ejected from a game. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
So go down in history.
Yep.
Napheesa, a friend of the show, Bam Adebayo, he gave a bunch of props and debuted Angel Reese's signature shoe that is coming out this year. And obviously, you know,
Angel
Sabrina.
Wilson's shoe.
Look at that.
What did I say? Sometimes I mess up names. What did I say?
Angel Reese.
I said Angel Reese. My bad. I meant Asia. And obviously we know Asia and Bam are friends. But how do you think, how much of this do you think is helping the women's game grow and guys wearing the shoes? Even the Sabrinas. Guys been wearing the Sabrinas as well. How much do you think this is helping?
I think a lot. You know, something we've been talking about for so long is if you just give us the platform, people will watch because what we have to offer is really entertaining. So, you know, putting our shoe on the NBA platform and getting more eyes on it and getting people talking about it is great for the women's game. You just see like it's been such an explosion this year because of the eyeballs that are brought in by our league growing and by bringing in these new, like the rookie class from last year. And you get people who like, they may come for something. They're coming because they saw Asia's shoe on Bam and they're like, who is this girl? I want to check her out. And they watch and then they're like, oh, I really like this. So the more opportunities we have for that, the better. And this was a great example of that.
I just love that it's just going to be this giant basketball world. Like that just makes me very happy. And I don't mean to sound cheesy, but that's how I feel about it. Paige Beckers just recently with the NIL deal for Unrivaled. She's expected to play in the league once she turns pro. JUJU Watkins already an investor. brilliant, by the way, to get the future already involved. How much of the thinking was, the quicker we do this, the more cemented this league becomes as we move forward?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. We did it for a couple reasons. For that, definitely to secure the future of our league, and also to bridge the gap between the younger generation and the professional league. In the WNBA specifically, it's just such a disconnect. You don't have the same feeder stuff that you have in the NBA. So we're really trying to change that culture as well, where, we're already talking about, the up and coming players. So you recognize these names, even though they're pretty recognizable anyway. But just getting them more involved in the professional world before they get here. I think the NBA has done a great job of that, of just recognizing and spotlighting their future athletes. And so they're already household names by the time that they get to the NBA. And so I think that's something that we can do better on our side as well. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
And we mentioned PAIGE, we mentioned JUJU. Caitlin Clark, she isn't playing in this first season of the league, but she has said she's open to playing. What is it going to take to get a Caitlin Clark to play next season?
I think everything we're doing, for Caitlin, I feel like it's just been such a whirlwind, coming from college and all that came with that to, being in her first WNBA rookie season. It's just a lot to handle, and there's no break, especially for the rookies. They play for 18 months straight or something crazy like that, just because going from both seasons. And so I know she really needed that little mental break from basketball for a little bit, but all we can do is show her what we have. And I think what we have here is really special. And of course, we're always going to have a spot for her, and hopefully we can make it work in the future.
Beadle, you're on mute, I think, Beads.
On mute, Beadle.
But listen,
I've never done that before. This is history.
I want to reach out because I would love to come down and check you guys out live action and bring my daughters and be a supporter of the league because I'm a big fan. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get you guys down here. Let me know.
For sure.
God, I can't believe it. Napheesa, please
mistake,
forgive my
Beadle.
unprofessionalism. It really is a rookie mistake. I've only been doing it for 20 years.
Yes.
We appreciate it. Keep it up. I know Chandler's going to hold it over me. This has been so fun to watch. So I'm enjoying it. Lou's enjoying it. Everybody's enjoying it. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm going to punish myself.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
I do love a good you buying that. And as always, guys, don't let us down. Paul Pierce, you're up first. Said he would take the Grizzlies in a 7-game series over anybody in the West, Lou, minus the Thunder. Are you buying that?
I mean, I guess I have to buy it. He's saying he's taking the second best team in the West right now, except the number 1 team. So, I mean, based on
Hot take.
Based on the standings, I mean, I guess I would too. I mean, who cares?
What about Denver? Wouldn't you take Denver over one of them?
If we're not going to take any of these teams over the OKC Thunder, does it matter? Does it really matter if we have? It doesn't matter what happens first round, second round. If we still have the Thunder coming out of the West, it really doesn't matter. It's a moot point. So I'm buying it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's not a hot take. They're the second-ranked team in the Western Conference, so it checks out that they would beat anybody else besides the number 1 team. So I don't think it's a hot take. I disagree with it. I think the Nuggets are better. I think the Mavs are better with Anthony Davis. I think the Lakers might even be better. But the Grizzlies are solid. They are a scrappy team. They can beat you in multiple different ways. But this isn't a hot take to me. They're the second-ranked team in the West.
It's a hot take, kinda, sort of, maybe not at all. Paul, I knew what you were trying to do. I know it feels like a hot take because we haven't seen them.
When he said, if he would have just said the first part,
or if he said the Kings or the Warriors, you can't say the second team. Yeah, whatever.
Second.
So
okay,
I'm
but then, by the way,
you're right.
The next one is my favorite one of all of last week. Kendrick Perkins said he was the leader of the Thunder. Now, remember, that means it wasn't KD, Russ, or Harden. KD responded by calling it the craziest thing ever.
Craziest ever.
Yep. Chandler? Wow, yeah. You buying that Perk was the leader of this team?
I mean, listen, being the leader of the team doesn't mean you're the best player necessarily. It doesn't mean you're leading the team in points. So I understand where he's come from this. Now, if Kevin Durant hadn't rebutted, then I would buy it. But the fact that Kevin Durant was there, was on that team, was in that locker room, and he strongly disagrees with this, I can't buy it. But again, I understand what he's saying. Zaza Pachulia was a leader on that Warriors team. He wasn't the best player, but he was a leader on that team. So that is possible. But the fact that Kevin Durant wholeheartedly disagrees with it, I can't buy it.
We don't believe you. You need more people. Now listen, and Chandler is 100% right. I've been on teams where there are guys that are considered better players than me, but I was the leader. I was the voice in a lot of decisions that were made off the court, as far as what we would do dinner-wise or how we were carrying ourselves. A lot of those conversations went through me, and it's a lot of guys that's had that experience outside of Kendrick Perkins on their teams. The only reason I'm not buying this is because if you ask some of my teammates on these teams, I'm going to have witnesses. I'm going to have people that are going to agree with me. It's not going to be a guy come out and like Lou is full of it. That's not the truth. And so when you have somebody combat that, especially the guy that was considered the best player on that team and saying it so emphatically that he doesn't agree with you, I'm not buying it for those reasons.
Yeah, why would he say it? Like, why?
Like Al Horford might be the leader of the Celtics this year,
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But if Jason Tatum came out and was like, no, he wasn't, then it would be hard for me to believe it. I don't think they would come out and say that. I think Al Horford would be the leader of this team. You know what I mean? So two things can be true.
I feel like I would shoot a text to them and be like, hey, did you guys think I was a leader before I go on national television and say this?
I mean, by now you would feel like somebody would have came out in defense of her and be like, yo, he's right. So far we hadn't heard. So right now we got his word versus KD's word. I ain't buying it.
Look, Kendrick, if you're watching, if you think you were the leader, then you were the leader. We'll just leave it at that in your mind. Take a quick break. Prop party on the other side. Easy. New York, Indiana, Chandler prop party. What do you got?
I love the Pacers tonight. They currently sit in that 4th seed. They got the Knicks tonight, the Wizards tomorrow. This is a nice little push they can make before All-Star weekend. Give me the Pacers money line and All-Star Pascal Siakam over 21.5 points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm gonna stay in Indiana with it. I like the Pacers money line, but I also like Tyrese Halliburton over in points tonight. I got a big game against the Knicks. The lights are on. The bright lights are on. That's where I'm rolling.
Well, guess who's doing the exact opposite of both y'all? I have the Knicks money line.
What's new?
Brunson over 28.5 points. Dun, 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 dun. This is kind of fun, guys.
How we feeling about it?
By the way, I know Chandler's back in his house. I was going to ask you something about one-on-one tournament. You guys think you'd be good at one-on-one, by the way?
Who would?
I'd cook.
I'm more of an off-the-catch kind of guy. Fake, health side.
Oh.
One-on-one's not.
Boring. See y'all tomorrow.